The text came on Tuesday morning, 2 days before Thanksgiving, while I was reviewing the holiday staffing schedule for my restaurant group, Thompson Culinary Holdings.Jennifer, we've decided on family only for Thanksgiving this year. Find somewhere else to eat. The reservation at Bellis is just for the real family. Mom. I stared at the message, then opened our reservation system and searched Thompson. There it was. Thompson, party of 12. Thursday 4 p.m. Private dining room. Premium Thanksgiving menu. Wine pairings. Floral arrangements. Full holiday experience. My mother had excluded me from family Thanksgiving, and then booked the celebration at a restaurant I owned. The irony was breathtaking. I called my general manager at Bellis, Marcus, who had been running the restaurant for 3 years. Good morning, Jennifer. Ready for our biggest day of the year. Marcus, I need to discuss the Thompson reservation for Thursday. Of course. Party of 12, private dining room. They requested our premium holiday package. Mrs. Thompson seemed very excited. Said it was going to be a perfect family celebration. I need you to cancel that reservation. Cancel it? Jennifer, it's Tuesday. Thanksgiving is in 2 days. I understand the timing. This is nearly a $3,000 booking. The food has been ordered. The room is set. Staff is assigned. Marcus, I'll cover any unrecoverable costs, but I want the Thompson reservation canceled immediately. May I ask why? Is it a payment issue or? It's personal. Please call Mrs. Thompson and inform her Bellis can no longer accommodate their party. Jennifer, finding a table for 12 on Thanksgiving is going to be nearly impossible for them. I'm sure they'll figure something out. After hanging up, I walked to my office window overlooking Bellis' main dining room. The place was buzzing with pre-holiday prep. My staff worked efficiently, unaware that my family had rejected the daughter who owned the very restaurant they'd chosen for their family-only celebration. Thompson Culinary Holdings had grown from a single food truck 8 years ago into 7 restaurants and 2 catering companies. Bellis was my flagship, an upscale Italian restaurant with 3 Michelin stars, the crown jewel of my culinary empire. But to my family, I was still just Jennifer, the daughter who dropped out of law school to play with food trucks. The one who worked holidays. The one who was 31, single, and apparently not impressive enough to seat at the family table. They bragged about my brother Michael, the lawyer. My sister Ashley, the married nurse with 2 kids. Their traditional success made sense to my parents. Mine didn't. My phone rang 30 minutes later. Jennifer, Marcus said, I called Mrs. Thompson to cancel the reservation. How did she react? She was not pleased. She demanded to speak with the owner. Wanted to know why we were canceling with such short notice. What did you tell her? That the owner had a scheduling conflict requiring the private dining room. Good. She asked if we could move them to the main dining room. And I told her we were fully booked. Which we are. Perfect. She was very upset. Said this ruined her perfect family holiday. I'm sure she was. Jennifer, can I ask why you're canceling on your own family? They uninvited me from Thanksgiving because they wanted it to be family only. But you are family. Apparently not the right kind. And they don't know you own Bellis? They know I work in restaurants. They don't know I own restaurants. Jennifer, that's going to be an interesting conversation when they figure it out. If they figure it out. An hour later, the messages began. Ashley. Jen, Mom told me about Thanksgiving. Are you okay? You can come to our house if you want. Michael. Mom said she wants to keep things simple this year. Dad. Your mother is stressed. Don't take it personally. Interesting how everyone tiptoed around Mom's family-only decree. They all knew it was cruel. None questioned her. Then came the call I was expecting. Jennifer, something terrible has happened. Hi, Mom. What's wrong? Bellis canceled our Thanksgiving reservation, 2 days before Thanksgiving. Oh no. That's awful. Which restaurant? Bellis. We had the perfect reservation, private dining room, beautiful menu, and they canceled. Did they give a reason? Some nonsense about a scheduling conflict. Jennifer, your Uncle Robert is flying in from Denver. Mary is driving from Phoenix. This has ruined everything. That does sound stressful. Jennifer, you work in restaurants. Do you know anyone who might have availability? Somewhere nice. The irony was almost too perfect. The woman who uninvited me from Thanksgiving was now asking me to save hers. What kind of place are you looking for, Mom? Something elegant. We wanted to show the family how well we're doing. Bellis was perfect. 3 stars, very exclusive. We were excited to tell everyone. I see. And you wanted to show everyone how successful our family is. Exactly. Jennifer, can you make some calls? Mom, can I ask you something? Of course. When you decided to make Thanksgiving family only, what did you mean by that? Pause. Jennifer, we just wanted to keep things simple. But I'm family. Of course you are, sweetheart. We just thought, well, you might be too busy with work. Too busy? Or not successful enough? Jennifer, that's not what. You wanted to impress Uncle Robert. Did you think having me there would hurt that image? That's not. Mom, what do you think I do for work? You work in restaurants. You have that food truck thing. What else? What else is there? You make food, you sell it. Have you ever asked me what I actually do? Jennifer, why is this important? I need help finding a restaurant. Mom, I'll see what I can do. After I hung up, I sat in my office, absorbing the absurdity. My mother excluded me, booked my restaurant, begged me for help when it backfired, and still didn't understand who I had become. I called Marcus. Has Mrs. Thompson called back? 3 times. She's desperate. She asked for recommendations for other upscale restaurants. What did you tell her? That comparable restaurants book months in advance. I gave her a few places she could try. And she started crying, Jennifer. She said this was supposed to be a perfect family celebration and now it's ruined. Crying. Marcus had barely finished describing my mother's panic when he added, she said her brother is coming from out of town specifically because she bragged about having dinner at Bellis. She said she'll be humiliated if they end up at some chain restaurant. Despite everything, I felt a slight pang of sympathy. Mom wasn't evil, just shallow, image-conscious and far too concerned with appearances. She had made a cruel decision by excluding me, but she was genuinely distressed by the consequences. Marcus, I said, what would you think about offering them a compromise? What kind of compromise? They can have their reservation back, but with modified terms. What kind of modifications? They can have the private dining room, I said, but the party size increases to 13 people. 13, he repeated. Who's the extra person? Me. Marcus was quiet for a moment. Jennifer, are you sure? After they uninvited you? I'm sure. I think it's time my family learned something about the restaurant business. What's that? That their daughter, who they think just plays around with food trucks, actually knows exactly what she's doing. I called Mom back. Jennifer, please tell me you found something. Mom, I have good news and bad news. Tell me. The good news is I might be able to get your Bella's reservation reinstated. Really? Oh, Jennifer, you're a lifesaver. How? I know someone with influence at the restaurant. Jennifer, you're amazing. What's the bad news? The reservation comes with a condition. What condition? The party size must be 13 instead of 12. 13? Who would be the extra person? Me, Mom. Silence stretched over the line. Jennifer. Mom. The person who can get your reservation back wants me included. The person who can get our reservation back? Who do you know at Bella's? I know the owner. You know the owner of Bella's? I do. Jennifer, how on earth do you know the owner of a 3-star restaurant? That's a good question, I said. How do you think I know the owner? I don't know. Through your food truck business. In a way, yes. Jennifer, what aren't you telling me? Mom, what if I told you my food truck business grew into something bigger? How much bigger? What if I told you I own 7 restaurants now? 7 restaurants? Yes. 7 restaurants, 2 catering companies and over 200 employees. Jennifer, are you serious? I'm serious, Mom. But you dropped out of law school. You started with a food truck and I built it into a restaurant empire. Jennifer, are you telling me you're successful? I'm telling you I'm very successful. How successful? Thompson Culinary Holdings grossed $12 million last year. 12 million? Thompson Culinary Holdings. Yes. Jennifer, she whispered, her voice cracking, are you saying you own Bellis? I'm saying Thompson Culinary Holdings owns Bellis. And I own Thompson Culinary Holdings. The silence that followed was heavy. Mom, are you there? Jennifer. You own the restaurant where we made our reservation? I own the restaurant where you made your reservation for family only. Oh my God. I own the restaurant where you wanted to impress Uncle Robert with how successful our family is, while excluding the most successful member of the family. Jennifer, I had no idea. Of course you didn't, Mom. You never asked what my business actually involves. Jennifer, I'm so sorry. Are you sorry because you hurt my feelings or because you found out I'm more successful than you realized? Both, she whispered. Jennifer, both. Which one is more important to you? Jennifer, that's not fair. It's a simple question. Are you more upset about excluding your daughter, or excluding your most successful daughter? She was quiet for a long time. Jennifer, I'm most upset about excluding my daughter. Are you? Yes, Jennifer. Success doesn't matter. You're my child. Then why did you exclude me from family Thanksgiving? Because I was embarrassed. Embarrassed by what? By the fact that you don't have a traditional career. By the fact that you're not married. By the fact that Uncle Robert would ask why you're different. Different, I repeated quietly. Jennifer, I thought you were struggling. I thought your food truck thing was nothing. I thought you were barely getting by. And that embarrassed me. Would you have been embarrassed if you'd known I was worth $12 million? No. So your embarrassment was based on my perceived lack of success, not my character? Jennifer. Mom, do you understand what that says about your priorities? Jennifer, I was wrong. Completely wrong. About what? Everything. About your career. About your success. About excluding you. And what changed my mind? Finding out how successful you are. So if I hadn't been successful, it would have been okay to exclude me? No. That's not what I meant. Then what do you mean? I should have been proud of you no matter what. And I am proud of you, Jennifer. Incredibly proud. Are you proud of me or proud of my bank account? She began to cry. Jennifer, I'm proud of you for building something amazing. And I'm ashamed of myself for not seeing it sooner. Why didn't you see it sooner? Because I made assumptions. Because I thought success looked one way. And when your path looked different, I assumed you were failing. And now I realize, you're the most successful person in our family. And I almost excluded you. Mom, here's what's going to happen. Okay. You're going to get your Bellis reservation back. A full party of 13, including me. Jennifer, thank you. But there are conditions. Anything. First, when Uncle Robert asks about my career, you'll tell him I own 7 restaurants and run a $12 million company. I will. Second, you'll tell him you're proud of me for building something from nothing. I am proud of you. Third, you'll never exclude me from family events again because you're embarrassed by my unconventional path. Never again, Jennifer. I promise. And fourth, you're going to start asking questions about my work because you care, not because you want to brag. I will. I want to understand what you've built. Good. Because your daughter who plays around with food trucks employs more people than Michael and Ashley combined. Thanksgiving arrived. The dinner at Bella's was everything Mom had dreamed of. Elegant, flawless, impressive. Uncle Robert was dazzled. Mom introduced me proudly. This is Jennifer, my youngest daughter. She owns Thompson Culinary Holdings. They own this restaurant and 6 others. She built it all from a single food truck. I'm incredibly proud of her. Uncle Robert shook my hand. Jennifer, this is remarkable. Your parents must have been supportive of your vision from the beginning. I glanced at Mom. She flushed. Actually, Uncle Robert, my family didn't quite understand what I was building. Well, he said, they certainly understand now. Mom squeezed my hand under the table. During dessert, she pulled me aside. Jennifer, why did you give me back the reservation? After everything I said. Because despite everything, you're my mother. And I love you. Even though I called your career embarrassing? Mom, you called it embarrassing because you didn't understand it. That's ignorance, not malice. And the lesson? She asked softly. That success comes in many forms. Just because someone's path looks different doesn't mean they're not succeeding. Jennifer, she whispered, I feel like I don't know you at all. You don't, I said gently. But now you have a chance to. I want to. Will you teach me about the restaurant business? I'd love to. 6 months later, Mom was one of my biggest supporters. She volunteered at our annual charity dinner, learned about staffing and profit margins, and finally understood the world I had built. But most importantly, she learned to value her daughter, not her daughter's resume. The Thanksgiving dinner at Bellis became a family legend. Not because of the food, but because it was the day my mother learned that her struggling daughter was actually the most accomplished person at the table. And I learned that sometimes, the best way to teach your worth is to give people exactly what they think they want, and let them discover what they really need. Success isn't just building a business empire. Sometimes it's teaching the people you love to see you clearly, and giving them the chance to be better than they were before. The reservation at Bellis became more than a holiday dinner. It became the moment my family finally learned to appreciate unconventional success.